Howdy. My name is Jolene Jang, and I'm ethnically Japanese, Chinese, and Swedish, and culturally Japanese American. My mother is Japanese American, and my father is Chinese and Swedish. So here are my Japanese grandparents and my Chinese and Swedish grandparents. I grew up in many white spaces, not a lot of Asians. But unlike many Asian Americans, I was not bullied because I was Asian. So I'd like to share with you how I connected with my 75% Asian-ness. For many years, I worked as a professional speaker for Fortune 500 companies, talking about maximizing meetings, doing a lot of team building, bringing people together. And as a conference reporter, I've interviewed tons of people and led meetings for the Washington State National Speakers Association. Recently, I presented to tech companies to push boundaries in order to innovate. And as a fun specialist, I've done a ton of team building, and that's upbeat and fun and energetic. But this is all before COVID hit. Then anti-Asian violence skyrocketed. And then March 16th, 2021, the Atlanta spa killings of Asians. I had to switch gears because I needed to raise awareness because the mainstream media was covering this, at least for a few days. So I wanted to be able to help. But because I have a white community, I needed to figure out, well, what are Asian Americans thinking about? How are they feeling? So I plugged into Asian American networks and also Asian American news, which is drastically different from the mainstream news. And it was there that I discovered that Asians are being violently attacked every single day. I formed a group called Empowered Asians, and this is a place where Asians can talk freely. I have found that there was a big need for it. So I began sharing with my online network of what's happening with Asians and all the hate that is hurled at us and asking them, hey, can you spend 30 seconds to 3 minutes to read this post, to share an article, watch a short program? And because with only 6% of Americans being Asians, you need majority voices. And my network of professional speakers and event planners and techies who are liberals, they are already in position. They're already out marching for Black Lives Matter and for Pride Month. So if they only knew, of course they would help. Nope, didn't work that way. Zero engagement. And when I mean zero, I mean pin drop, crickets, nothing. After 3 weeks of hitting silence on all of my platforms, and then also hearing from so many other Asians that are experiencing the same thing, where they experience silence, but also none of their friends are reaching out to them, I thought, there's got to be some non-Asians out there who want to treat Asians with respect. So let me try and find them. Like many Asian Americans at this time, I'm now talking to my parents and listening to their stories and their history and studying Asian American immigration and watching documentaries and really studying. And now I present to corporate organizations around diversity, equity, inclusion, and how to be Asian inclusive. It is missing out there. One of my programs is called Aren't Asians All Alike? And showing the diversity of this broad category. The work I do as an Asian inclusivity consultant is not fun. It is zero fun, but I am here to speak up for justice. It has been 426 days that I began my quest. Out of my network of 7,000 people, 7 have reached out to check on me. I have left my pre-COVID friends behind, and I deserve to have friends that value and respect me. My new Asian Allies Network is tiny and mighty and also courageous, and they do speak up. And that's who I want to be around. When I lose hope, I think about the resilience of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders that came before me. And I think of the Trans-Pacific Railroads. And for the Chinese railroad workers, 3 died for every 2 miles of track that was laid. During World War II, being Japanese American, knowing that there are white people that have this Japanese hunting license in their wallet. And I also think of the 3 Japanese American ladies in their 90s who fought for 15 years in order to get the Go for Broke 442 stamp. So I am just at the beginning of my journey of Asian inclusivity. And I think of the resilience of these ancestors, and that gives me hope. You are not alone. Share your story. My story is your story. and I will continue to share our stories.